All right, boys and girls, my bad for this. But let's take a look. We are learning about congruent statements, right? Because ultimately what this is leading us to is actually proving that two triangles are congruent. But first, let's establish everything that we know that's actually considered congruent, okay? So let's start off with this first piece right here. ABC, or angle ABC, is congruent to angle DBE. Why is that? What's the justification? You should be able to look at this and see, right? These are actually vertical angles, right? And because they're vertical, they equal and opposite. Therefore, they are congruent. Next piece. This is probably new, but it's a very simple idea. And that simple idea is this, right? If you have this triangle and it's cut by this piece, this line CA is actually congruent to line CA. You're like, what? Why is that the case? Well, it's because this actually creates two triangles, right? So now you're able to really see that this CA is the green or CA is the blue, depending on how you cover up, right? Therefore, CA is, and this is the reflexive property, okay? And I mean, it's as straightforward as it can be. Next piece right here. If AC bisects angle BCD, what's the next piece of a thing that we can conclude? Well, it's this line, right? This is the knife that's bisecting this angle. So now angle DCA is congruent to angle ACB, right? Because this is an angle bisector, okay? Next piece right here. It's saying QT bisects SR, okay? So QT is the knife, and therefore it's bisecting SR at point P. So now we can say SP is congruent to PR, okay? And why is that the case? Because of the line bisector definition, okay? Line bisector definition, and the reason up here why it's the case is because of the angle bisector definition, okay? And then finally, or two more, we have here, let's see, we have P is the midpoint of QT. Well, if P is the midpoint of QT, that means this is equal to this, right? And it's very much like line bisector. So you could say QP is congruent to PT, okay? And you could say it's because of the midpoint definition. And then finally, right here, it tells us that QR is parallel to ST, even though that's not a very parallel shape. But then from here, we could make two conclusions. We could make the RQP, right? Angle RQP is going to be congruent to STQ, or angle STQ. And the reason why we could make that conclusion is because this and this are alternate interior angles, right? Because they form the giant Z, because you have here that. And the other way is true as well. QRP, right? Angle QRP is going to be congruent to angle PST. Okay? So that's that for what we need to know. But if you look at this entire thing that we have to know, every single thing that we know are congruent for a reason, right? Vertical angles, reflexive property, angle bisector definition, line bisector definition, midpoint definition, and parallel lines. And the justification here is that two parallel lines create the special angles.